Look at this image. Instantly, your brain sorts these pictures into two categories: blueberry muffins and concerned chihuahuas. You didn't consciously study a blueberry versus a dog's nose. You just knew, effortlessly, in a fraction of a second. Cognitive scientists call this automaticity. It's your brain's ability to recognize objects and decode the visual world without any active thinking or effort on your part. Here is a diagram of the human brain, showing the occipital cortex highlighted in green. Signals travel from neurons in the back of your eyes directly to this region, processing visual data before you even realize a process has begun. Because this object recognition happens entirely without our active participation, we are not actually the ones deciding what we see in that first split second of looking. Our biology decides for us. Most of us assume our eyes work like high-definition video cameras, capturing a perfectly clear, wide-angle movie of the world around us. The biological reality is that human visual acuity is terrible. If you hold your arm straight out, you can only see an area about the size of your thumbnail in sharp focus. Everything else in your peripheral vision is severely degraded. Your brain fills in the blanks with assumptions, stitching together a completely fabricated illusion of clarity. This presents a serious biological mystery. If our peripheral vision is mostly a blurry guess, what exactly is steering our eyeballs to look at the correct next target? Since our conscious mind simply can't process the blurry periphery to make a logical decision about where to look, a hidden, unconscious autopilot system must be pulling the strings behind the scenes. To decide where to focus next, your visual attention system actively strips away detail. Look at the top half of this image. This is a blurry, textless version of a website interface. This is roughly the low-resolution, mostly black and white map your visual system actually generates to evaluate its next target. Because the autopilot is navigating this degraded map, it isn't reading words. It exclusively hunts for outliers, or anomalies that break the visual pattern. This chart demonstrates visual pop-out. The autopilot seeks sudden changes in shape, size, orientation, weight, position, or color. A sudden splash of color, like the red square, acts as a gravity well, dragging your eye before your conscious mind registers the change. This means a screen designer's true first audience isn't a human reading carefully crafted words. It's a primitive biological algorithm scanning for contrasting shapes. We proved this biological theory using Tobii eye-tracking glasses. That center lens records exactly where a person's pupils start in real time. Researchers use these glasses to generate heat maps showing where human attention congregates. The data reveals highly predictable, automatic behaviors, like the classic F pattern used to scan screens. But the most crucial data often comes from the null result. These are specific areas of a screen that users completely and consistently fail to look at. Past experiences train your autopilot to ignore specific zones entirely. Put helpful information in a right-hand column, and the brain flags it as an add zone, filtering it out of perception before you even look. If a critical piece of information falls into one of these learned blind spots, your conscious mind literally never receives the data. The design becomes entirely useless, regardless of how well the text is written. This reveals a critical error product designers make, building complex interfaces exclusively for the conscious decision-making brain, while completely ignoring the automatic visual system. When the autopilot isn't guided by clear visual pop-outs, the user experiences immediate cognitive overload and frustration. There is a simple, practical tool you can use to see your work exactly how the brain's autopilot sees it. Look at this website comparison, paying attention to the red annotated arrows. If you apply a heavy Gaussian blur to strip away the text, you can instantly see if the primary action button is a true visual outlier. Here, the buttons blend completely into the blurred landscape. Adjusting the shape, weight, or color based on the specific architectural failure points identified here guarantees the autopilot will involuntarily grab the right element. The greatest digital experiences feel intuitive, not because they are inherently simple, but because the designer successfully hacked your unconscious visual reflexes, giving your conscious brain the answers in the blink of an eye.